Welcome back to the Slow Dusk channel, where we delve into the dusty, lawless, and often morally ambiguous world of the American West. Today we're riding into a territory less explored, the hearts and minds of the villains. It's easy to cheer for the hero, to despise the antagonist, but what happens when the lines blur? What happens when the bad guy, despite their nefarious deeds, possesses a charisma, a complexity, or even a flicker of humanity that makes them, dare I say, likable? From the ruthless bandit to the corrupt lawman, Westerns have given us some of cinema's most unforgettable antagonists. But among them, a select few stand out, not just for their villainy, but for an undeniable magnetism that draws us in. They might be cruel, they might be deadly, but there's something about them that makes us root for them, or at the very least, understand them on a deeper level. Today we're counting down the 5 most likable villains in Western cinema. We're not talking about good guys in disguise, but rather characters who, despite their evil actions, possess qualities that make them compelling, fascinating, or even, in rare moments, relatable. Our criteria include: do they command attention every time they're on screen? Do they have an undeniable magnetism that makes you want to watch them, even if you despise their actions? Are they simply evil for evil's sake, or is there a deeper reason for their villainy? A glimpse into their past or a nuanced motivation can add layers that make them more understandable, if not forgivable. Do they occasionally show a flicker of decency, a surprising wit, or a moment of vulnerability that catches you off guard? These brief deviations from pure villainy can make them more memorable. Is their conflict with the protagonist more than just good versus evil? A strong personal rivalry can elevate both characters and make the villain's presence more impactful. With these criteria in mind, let's ride into our countdown, starting with a villain who redefined the very concept of a Western antagonist. Kicking off our list at number 5 is a performance that shocked audiences and redefined the Western villain. Henry Fonda as Frank in Sergio Leone's epic Once Upon a Time in the West. Fonda, known for his heroic, wholesome roles, completely subverted expectations, delivering a portrayal of pure, unadulterated sadism. Yet, despite his heinous acts, including the chilling opening scene where he murders a family, including a child, Frank possesses a strange, almost hypnotic allure. What makes Frank so compelling, so likable in a twisted way? It's the sheer audacity of his villainy, amplified by Fonda's unexpected casting. His cold, calculating eyes, his almost casual cruelty, and his unwavering resolve make him a force of nature. He's not driven by greed or revenge in the traditional sense. He's a man who has nothing to lose, making him utterly fearless and unpredictable. His rivalry with Charles Bronson's harmonica is a masterclass in silent tension, a slow-burn vendetta that underscores Frank's relentless nature. Every interaction, every subtle glance, speaks volumes about the depth of their shared history. It's this unflinching portrayal of evil, combined with Fonda's legendary screen presence, that makes Frank a villain we love to hate, and perhaps secretly admire. Next up at number 4, we have a villain who, despite his ruthless nature, brings a surprising amount of charm and even a touch of humor to the screen. Eli Wallach as Calvera in The Magnificent Seven. Calvera is a bandit leader who terrorizes a small Mexican village, stealing their crops and resources. He's greedy, conniving, and utterly self-serving. Yet Calvera is far from a one-dimensional bad guy. Eli Wallach infuses him with a vibrant personality, making him arrogant, philosophical, and surprisingly witty. His interactions with Chris and Vin are often filled with memorable dialogue, as he attempts to rationalize his actions and even offer his adversaries unsolicited life advice. He's a bandit with a code, albeit a self-serving one, and his endless desire for wealth and power is almost endearing in its transparency. Calvera's likability stems from his sheer theatricality and Wallach's brilliant performance. He's not just a villain, he's a showman, relishing in his power and the fear he instills. He's a character you love to watch, even as you condemn his actions, proving that sometimes a villain's charm can be as potent as a hero's courage. Coming in at number 3 is a villain who might not be as overtly charismatic as some, but whose grounded pragmatism and Robert Duvall's nuanced performance make him incredibly compelling. Lucky Ned Pepper from the 1969 classic True Grit. While the film is often remembered for John Wayne's iconic Rooster Cogburn, Duvall's portrayal of the cunning outlaw is a masterclass in understated villainy. Lucky Ned Pepper isn't a grand schemer or a philosophical antagonist. He's a survivor, a hardened criminal who operates by his own set of rules. What makes him likable is his almost relatable dedication to self-preservation and his strong intuition. He's not afraid to fight dirty, and he's fiercely loyal to his gang. His interactions with Cogburn are a highlight, as the two old adversaries engage in a battle of wits and wills. There's a certain respect, albeit grudging, between them that elevates their conflict beyond simple good versus evil. Duvall brings a gritty realism to the character, making him feel like a genuine product of the harsh Western landscape. Lucky Ned Pepper embodies the raw, untamed spirit of the frontier, and his unwavering determination, even in the face of overwhelming odds, makes him a villain you can't help but admire. Our runner-up for the most likable Western villain is the effortlessly cool and dangerously intelligent Johnny Ringo, portrayed by Michael Biehn in the modern classic Tombstone. Ringo is the epitome of the arrogant gunslinger, reveling in his reputation and using his intellect as much as his pistol to intimidate his opponents. What makes Ringo so captivating is his complex relationship with Doc Holliday. Their verbal sparring, filled with Latin phrases and thinly veiled threats, is some of the most memorable dialogue in Western cinema. Beneath Ringo's bravado and nihilistic outlook, there's a hint of a tragic figure, a man burdened by his own intelligence and a deep-seated despair. This internal struggle adds a layer of vulnerability that makes him more than just a stock villain. Ringo's likability comes from his undeniable charisma and the sheer magnetism of his presence. He's a man who commands respect, even from his enemies, and his cool, collected demeanor in the face of danger is almost admirable. He's the dark mirror to Doc Holliday, and their intertwined destinies make Tombstone a truly unforgettable Western. And the top spot for the most likable villain in Western cinema goes to none other than Ben Wade, played with captivating brilliance by Russell Crowe in the 2007 remake of 3:10 to Yuma. Wade is a notorious outlaw, a ruthless killer, and a master manipulator. Yet, from the moment he appears on screen, he exudes an undeniable charm and intelligence that makes him utterly compelling. What sets Ben Wade apart is his surprising moral compass and his evolving relationship with Dan Evans, the farmer tasked with delivering him to justice. Despite his violent past, Wade shows moments of genuine respect and even empathy for Evans, recognizing the farmer's integrity and determination. He's a villain who can be both terrifyingly brutal and surprisingly honorable, often within the same scene. Crowe's performance is a masterclass in subtlety, conveying Wade's intelligence, his weariness, and his occasional glimpses of a better nature. He's a man who understands the harsh realities of the West, and his philosophical musings on life, death, and morality add a profound depth to his character. Ben Wade is the villain you almost want to escape, the one you find yourself rooting for against your better judgment. And there you have it, our picks for the 5 most likable villains in Western cinema. These characters, despite their dark deeds, remind us that villainy isn't always black and white. Sometimes the most compelling antagonists are those who possess a flicker of humanity, a surprising wit, or an undeniable charisma that makes them just as memorable, if not more so, than the heroes they oppose. They challenge our perceptions, force us to confront the complexities of good and evil, and ultimately enrich the stories they inhabit. The Western genre, with its stark landscapes and moral ambiguities, provides the perfect canvas for these nuanced portrayals of villainy. What do you think of our list? Did we miss any of your favorite likable villains? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the darker side of the West, make sure to subscribe to the Slow Dusk channel for more explorations of classic cinema. Until then, as always, this is Slow Dusk, signing off.